Alright, so we got do or don't Adeptus Mechanicus. I'm actually surprised we didn't do this video, man. Hopefully you guys enjoy this one. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel if you do enjoy this one. Let's get right to it. Let's go, y'all.
No sense being coy with the intro, you already know what this video is going to be
Shout out
about.
to Pancreas, no work, by the way, man.
So for once in this channel's history, how about I just say my ultimate opinion right out of the gate?
All
I
right,
like the Mechanicus a lot. Are there some grievances I have?
So you like
Just
them?
say my ultimate opinion right out of the gate. I like the Mechanicus a lot. Are there some
Okay.
grievances I have with them? Yeah, of course. But the
Real quick, before Pan go crazy and just unleash a 69 hit combo. I don't know why I chose 69, but we're gonna let it rock. Yo, with the Mechanicus and stuff like that, I'm gonna keep it real for what it is, y'all. Like, at first I thought they were kind of wacky, they looked really funny or whatever, but like I'm gonna just keep it real for what it is. They're comp, y'all. Like, they're really like a big part of, like, you know, like of like the armor, and like they're really like a big part of like stuff just speeding upon. So like I'm just keep it real for what it is, bro. Like, I respect them. Do I want to look like them? Hell no. Like, they're ugly, like, respectfully, like they're ugly though. Like, you know, like they're like the ugly best friend that you got. You know what I'm saying? Like obviously you love them to death. Like, you know, you got a big heart for them. But like, yo, whenever, like, you know, y'all around the girls, like, bro, stay 5 feet away from me, bro. Like, bro, it's like COVID times, bro. Get away from me, like, respectfully. But like, I'm playing. Listen. I'm gonna keep it real, bro. You are not a real friend. You are not a real man's. You are not a real friend. You know, if your boy looks a little, you know, if your friend looks a little, you know, not there, or if he's not at his peak, you know, form, physical, you know, face feature wise or whatever, if he's not handsome yet, bro, you're not a real friend, bro. If you never glazed him, or if you never, like, you know, really glorified him for a little bit in front of the girls, you're not a real friend if you never did that before. If you never did that before, bro, I'm sorry, yo, we can never be in the same room. I'm sorry, bro. I don't care if my boy, like, yo, I don't care if you look like I don't care if you look like the booty warrior, bro. Respectfully, I don't. Yo, he could be as ugly as can be. Yo, I'm gonna glaze him like he a 7-time Super Bowl champ. No lie, y'all. Like, that's what I'm gonna do for my boy.
One of the things I like most about 40k is the setting, and unlike many things in Warhammer, they aren't directly ripping too many things off. Sure, there's the hatred of AI that's pretty likely inspired by Dune, like much of 40k is, but if the idea of not trusting computers is enough to say they're a ripoff, then I'm sorry to tell you this, but your grandparents are also probably ripping off of Dune. Their mannerisms and attitudes are, from what I can tell, not only fairly original, but something that embodies not only humanity in the setting, but also 40k as a whole very well. Very grim.
And also, they look like they smell like pennies. I would never I would never give these guys a hug. Like, I hug everybody, men, women. I hug everybody. I'm gonna keep it real for what it is. I'd never give these guys a hug, bro. The best thing I give them is one of these. Like, that's it. I'm not walking up to him shaking his hand. I don't want to get no rust on my hand. I don't want to get no black mold on my hand. You know, the best thing I could do is look at bro like these and be like, what's up? Like, give him one of the little head nods. That's
very
it.
dark, and most of all, very, very weird. But how about instead of just going on about how I like them right away, I get into their history a bit more. Let's get past my own bias just a little bit and see if the Cogboys aren't the army for you. And even if they're not, you get to listen to the Mechanicus soundtrack for this video. That's always a good time. Before we begin, I'd like to ask you something. Do you want to cook and eat delicious, nutritious food?
Hey, listen, we not mad at it over here. Hey, yo, Pancreas no work. Hey, bro, get that, yo, get that sponsorship, bro. We not, hey, HelloFresh, hit your boy up if you really want to. Hey, Pancreas no work, bro. We not mad at you. Hey, do what you gotta do, bro. Listen, I you know, the economy going up. We all gotta, in the great words of Cass Nasty, we all gotta pay those bills. So, hey, let's, Pancreas no work. I don't mind it. Respectfully, HelloFresh, hit your boy up, yo.
Today. Now then, let's get technical. Get it? See what I did there?
Don't ever do that again, yo. Don't ever do that again.
Alright, fine, I'll get on with the video. To understand the Mechanicus, we must first go back in time. Many millennia before the year 40,000, the future God Emperor of mankind locked a dragon inside of Mars. Moving on from that surely unimportant plot point, during humanity's golden age, now known as the Dark Age of technology, mankind had not only colonized Mars, but terraformed it as well, like in pretty much every science fiction story. Then things went radically wrong, starting...
Hey, respectfully, bro. I don't care what it is. Bro, I'd rather go out swinging than befriend a demon like this. Bro, I'd rather go out swinging. I'd rather go out guns blazing than even talk to this monstrosity. Look at this evil no-doer, bro. I want y'all to really sit up here and just dissect this, bro. Look at him. He looks like the Terminator, bro. Look how he's looking at me, but he like he want to take a bite out of me or something. He looks weird. Like, where's his nose at? How can he smell what the Rock is cooking? Yo, how can he smell when dinner's ready? This is how you know he's not human. This is a demon. This is something demonic, bro. I rebuke this in Jesus' name. This is something demonic. Look at him. He don't got an ounce of light. He don't got an ounce of light in his body. Get him out.
When the Men of Iron AI servants mankind had rebelled, and Mars went back to being an irradiated shithole. All that was habitable on Mars were underground facilities and airtight domes. Starvation and other problems rapidly set in, and it was up to whatever technicians that survived to keep Mars from becoming completely uninhabitable. Over time, Martian culture changed because of all of this. Technology became an object of worship, and those with the know-how to work it became its priests. This religion also manifested the belief of an all-knowing god of technology, creatively known as the Machine God. He likes order, technology, and replacing your genitals with USB ports and or sticks.
Okay, let me just say this real quick. First of all, you're not about to replace my yab with nothing. Bro, no cords is going down there, bro. Point blank, period. What are you talking about? What did he just say?
God. He likes order, technology, and replacing your genitals with USB ports and...
There is no and. Yo. That stops right there. There's no and, bro. Bro, there's no, I don't want to get TMI, but there's no, bro, respectfully, there's no way in hell. There's no way in hell that, let's say, for instance, I got to go to the bathroom. There's no way I'm going to pull my pants down and I see like 3 iPhone chargers. What are we talking about? What are we on about, bro? Why are you replacing my private area for some cords? You really kinky like that, bro? I told y'all, bro, these Adeptus, Mechanicus, bro, these guys are down bad, bro. Something, it's not clicking up here, bro. It's not snapping up here. It's not clicking up here, bro. For real. Like, bro, I already know, bro. From here to here, it's just straight up Bluetooth. It's not, they have no soul, no nothing, bro. Yo, these boys work on straight Bluetooth, bro. They work on straight, just hotspot connection. That's what they work on. There's no soul, there's no nothing. These guys are kinky. You cannot look at somebody, bro, respectfully, where we at? 343? Yo, there's no way you can look at somebody like these. Where he at? Where's the guy at? Where's the guy at? Where's he at? Where's he at? There's no way you can look at this man right here and think, oh, everything is all right. He looks like a nice guy. He's just got a resting bit face. No, no, because guess what? There's some people who do got that. There's some women who got that. The what was it? What's it called? The RBF. There's some women who got the RBF. I don't want to get demonetized, by YouTube. By keep saying these curse words too much. So I'm just putting in like a little acronym. Bro, there's some people who got the RBF. I'm gonna just keep it real for what it is, bro. There's no way in hell I'm shaking this man's hand. There's no way in hell that I'm having a conversation with him or nothing. I already know he into that freak-ish, bro. Yeah, I know what type of videos he be watching. Yeah, bro. He don't need a phone. He already got them pre-saved. Remember, bro, they full of technology. Any video he want, he could just see it. Come on, bro. Like, respectfully, bro, we're not doing that.
He likes order, technology, and replacing your genitals with USB ports and or sticks. Eventually, the God Emperor came a-knockin', and he was worshipped as an aspect of the Machine God that was known as the Omnissiah. The Omnissiah is also sometimes just what they call him, the Machine God, and sometimes he's something else entirely. And also, a lot of the tech priests don't actually believe the Emperor is the Omnissiah, but just roll with it to avoid any problems. This vagueness of what their belief truly is something that you'll soon see as a running theme with the Mechanicus. Or should I say Mechanicum, because they weren't the Mechanicus quite yet, but I'll get to that later. For now, its influence spread across mankind with the Great Crusade, and as the Emperor's realm spread, so too did the Mechanicums. Knowing that he needed the tech priests to help run his empire, he gave them a special exemption from the no-religion rule that he created. This kept them happy enough, and they gave him the industry that he needed. Then the Horus Heresy broke out, and half the Mechanicum turned to chaos alongside the Space Marine legions and the army. Mars was actually the center of a civil war that had fighting almost as fierce as it was on Terra when Horus invaded it. But unfortunately, that didn't really involve any Primarchs, so it obviously only deserved 1/20th of the attention aforementioned Terracot. Daddy issues are clearly more interesting than science fiction robot priests duking it out on a Mad Max planet. After the Horus Heresy and eventual disappearance of all the Primarchs, two important things regarding the Mechanicum happened. One, they ate all of the other scientific organizations in the Imperium. There were a few kicking around beforehand, though of course not as influential as the Mechanicum, and they were swiftly absorbed into it and made to follow its doctrines. Two, it became the Adeptus Mechanicus we know and love today. It did so for reasons largely bureaucratic in nature. As the Mechanicum, it was technically a client empire of the Imperium as a whole, but with the imperial governance growing larger and larger and the ecclesiarchate gaining more and more power as worship of the Emperor exploded across humanity, they wanted a way to put them on a more level playing field with the rest of the Imperium's organizations, and as technical outsiders, they wouldn't be able to do nearly what they could do as an official Adeptus organization. The Mechanicum also faced a bit of a loyalty conundrum while operating under this system. The various vassals the Mechanicum itself had weren't sure if they were supposed to be loyal to the Mechanicum directly or the larger Imperium first. Becoming an official Adeptus organization resolved both issues. Now they were a part of the Imperium of Man officially, so no need to worry about loyalty problems or other politicians doing some fuckery that they couldn't deal with due to their technical status as foreigners. Between this meaning that other imperial politicians in turn had more direct say in Mechanicus affairs, and the Mechanicum ambassador marching a titan into the Imperial Senate chambers to help negotiations proceed, the rest of the Imperial Senate was quick to go along with this as well. We finally have the Adeptus Mechanicus proper as it would come to be known. Also,
hey, respectfully, let me just say this real quick. I don't trust none of these dudes. Y'all call them the High Lords and all this, bro. Yo, I don't care what it is. And then they not finna, bro. These old hags are not about to do nothing to me, bro. Respectfully, bro. Not gonna lie to you, bro. I'll walk up to every one of them, bro, pressing myself, and then walk away in slow motion while explosions are happening. That's like my after effect, and they won't do nothing to me. Bro, these old hags, bro, these guys. See, I respect my elders, but I can't respect these elders. There's something up with them. They are weird. There's something up with them, bro. I just can't put my finger on it. And I don't want to put my finger on it. But there's something I want to know. Like, I want to know. There's something up with them, bro. And it's really, it's the itch that I can't scratch. Something is up with these dudes. There has to be. There's no way these four dudes is just up here, just standing around, just in armor, just talking about the glory days. No, bro. Something tell me that they're still having those glory days. You know what I'm talking about. Yeah, use your brain. Something tells me, bro. Like, I can't put my finger on it, bro. But I'm gonna find out.
shit, how big is the Imperial Senate that you can fit a Titan in their meeting room? As for the rest of their history, the Mechanicus has one simple, overarching goal: to find and understand technology that has been lost to humanity. And boy, is there a lot of it to find.
For what, though? Bro, you don't have to... For what? That's our problem as humans, bro. Like, I feel like listen, our curiosity is like whatever, but like, bro, that's what be getting us in trouble. Like, bro, we be too curious sometimes. Sit down. Like, just sit down. Just chill out, bro. Like, the Laker game is coming on tonight. Let's just watch the Laker game. Why we want to...
And humanity's scientific prowess is both incredible and widespread across the galaxy. So the Mechanicus regularly sends fleets across space to find what mankind has lost. They also preserve what remains and make sure it doesn't fall into the wrong hands. Sometimes this means defending a forge world from chaos or orcs until their dying breath. Sometimes this means skipping out and giving a guard regiment the equipment they need because you're a greedy bastard, and safeguarding ancient relics is a good excuse to have. Inventing new stuff is not really officially supported, but that just means you have to get creative with it. No, Mr. Fabricator General, I didn't invent this piece of technology. I found it in this laboratory. Pay no attention to the fact that it's a lab that I just built. I can assure you this is ancient technology. Granted, if you're that blatant with it, you're probably going to get lobotomized, but it's that kind of thing individual tech priests do to avoid getting in trouble. And some of the higher-ups are willing to allow this to different degrees as long as you're creative with your justifications. Or just throw it in a dirt pile for a couple months so it looks really old. You know, whatever works. Creating AI is something that's usually never allowed, though. That doesn't stop some tech priests from still getting away with it. Call, but usually that gets you insta-killed if you're found out. Humanity already had one AI rebellion in this setting. No one wants another one. They're the only people around in the Imperium if you want pretty much anything made. From weapons of war to more mundane things like transportation, the Mechanicus builds it all. They don't have a monopoly on technology, they have a monopoly on pretty much everything.
But here's the thing, though. Just because they building all these things, here's the thing, bro. You can't finesse a finesser, bro. You cannot finesse somebody, bro, who's been... Bro, I've been getting finesse since I was a baby. You can't finesse somebody who grew up in that game. You don't think that I know that when they're creating all these weapons, they're also creating things for themselves as well? Yeah. I'm making everybody think. Yeah. Bro, think about it, right? Yo, Pan just said, right? Literally just said, yo, the Adeptus, Mechanicum, whatever, they be like, creating all the weapons or whatever, da 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 da. You don't think that there's a few loose screws worth their crew? You don't think there's a few, just freaky, nasty, just diabolical, just wacky weirdos, just ready to, create something for their own pleasure? Are you following where I'm getting? I hope you are. You don't think that they don't have some type of like, that they don't just be creating like, you get what I'm saying? They're creating certain toys for themselves. I think I'm scratching the surface, yo. At the end of the day, when it really comes down to it, they can create all these weapons and da 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 da. Bro, these guys are freaky. I can already tell. Maybe there's not like a lot of evidence in the Warhammer thing. This is what we really want to know. The whole thing about, oh, they have this secret weapon that they're building, but nobody really knows, and you got to go buy these 9 books to put the pieces together. No, we don't want to, bro. We don't care about that. Let's get down to the nitty gritty. Let's get down to what they're really trying to hide. Yeah, bro. I'm making everybody think. Like I said before, what are they really trying to hide? What are they really building? Yeah, because they've already, bro. They basically already made any type of weapon. They basically made thousands of other different types of weapons. What are they? I know them. Yo, respectfully, bro, and y'all can call me out because I'm not the most handsome man in the world. I'm not Brad Pitt. I'm not Michael B. Jordan. I'm not, prime Denzel Washington. But I know, bro. None of these lame dudes got girls. None of these dudes get no play. They're not celibate. Celibate is whenever you have the option to do that, but you just choose not to. Bro, these dudes are not celibate, bro. These dudes get no play. No girls look at them and be like, I'm interested in that. No. No. No, bro. And here's the thing. I don't blame them. I don't blame the girls for looking at these Adeptus Mechanicus. I'm not about to kiss Russ. What? What are we talking about? I'm not finna have a steel pipe. I'm not. I'm not finna get no steel pipe. What are we talking about? I'm not finna get no metal pipe. Bro, what are we yapping about? I'm not finna interact, bro. If I'm a girl in Warhammer and I looked at these Adeptus Custodians, bro, I'm not, bro. There's no attraction level. None, yo. I'm not attracted to none of these dudes, bro. Cooper, bro. Like, what?
Example,
They
maybe
got no type of game.
they'll subcontract out the shipping to someone else, but the Mechanicus is the one who builds the truck the shipping company uses. If they don't do that, they make the parts that the company who builds the truck uses, or they maintain the merchant vessels that ship the materials to the planet of whoever makes the part. This gives them not only massive sway in imperial politics, but it means that their worlds can survive on their own if cut off from the Imperium at large for at least some amount of time. It also means that people like Inquisitors and Commissars have to be a lot more careful when dealing with the Mechanicus. If you accuse a local Magos of being a heretic, there's pretty decent odds that the nearest Imperial Guard regiment is going to be losing out on a few shipments of weapons if you were a bit too eager in your accusation. They're not withholding equipment from you, it's just production errors, they'll likely tell you. It can't be helped. For this reason, the Mechanicus is largely independent and polices itself. Sure, Inquisitors will still get involved, but they've got to be a lot more polite about it than with other organizations. The rest of their lore can be integrated into their pros and cons, so how about I just start with that now? Like I said at the very beginning, the Mechanicus are very unique as far as 40k goes. I love my Eldar, but being honest, they're just elves in space. Sure, there's a lot of things that make them stand out, but at the end of the day, they're a race of aliens that are thin and lanky, have pointy ears, and do magic real good. Not hard to see where the inspiration for them comes from. Tech priests, meanwhile, are pretty unique, with their worship of technology and almost fetishistic level to which they tear their own organs out to replace with RGB gaming keyboards and water coolers. So if you want your army to stand out, you can't go wrong with the Mechanicus. They've also got some of the best technology in the setting by far. In terms of who's got better tech than them, only the Necrons completely outclass them.
Man, they don't play at all, y'all. Did I tell y'all a story? I mean, we have new viewers every video, so let me tell y'all the story, bro. Like, y'all, it was 2 a.m., bro. I'm over here counting sheep, sleeping. I'm pretty sure I saw Scarlett Johansson pop up in my dream. I'm like, yo, like, babe, what's up? I'm gonna save you. All of a sudden, I hear at the door. I'm thinking, like, you know, like, you know, if the neighbor's house, something's wrong with the neighbors or whatever, because, you know, I'm cool with my neighbors. You know, so boom, I pop out with it. So I go outside. I'm like, hello. Yo, I stick my face outside, bro. It was like 8 green beams on my face. Come out now. I'm like, yo, what did you say? I can't see. There's eight green beams in my face. I can't see. Come out now. So boom, I walk outside. He grabbed me off the gate, off the strength, picked me up off the ground like these. He put me down. He said, "Are you King Indy?" I said, "Yeah." I'm like, "Yes." I was like, you know, trying to, like, you know, do a little joke off of it. He squeezed my shirt even harder. You know, like he almost got rid of me right there. He said, "Are you King Indy? Don't play with me." I said, "Yeah." I said, "Yes, sir, I am." Like, you know, just trying to, you know, speak his language, you know. And he's like, you were the one cracking jokes in the videos. I'm like, yes, that's me. My bad. Like, I didn't mean to, you know, do, like, I'm pleading for my life, y'all. He said, yo, don't crack no more jokes. We don't laugh at none of those jokes. We're not the funny type. We don't laugh at no jokes. Don't crack nothing. I don't want you to crack the Bible open. That's all you should be cracking open. Don't be cracking no jokes about us. As soon as we pop up on the screen, you show respect. But obviously, he said all that in a little robot voice. I'm like, yes, sir. Right there. So boom, he threw me down. Bro, they got in their black they got in their black trucks in a black clutch sports trucks and just got up out of here, y'all. Ever since then, bro, like, to this day, every single time a Necron pop up on the screen, I show the utmost respect, y'all. The utmost respect. I don't want to get pressed. I don't want to get, you know, obliterated. You know, I don't want to get lit up like the 4th of July. So to this day, y'all, I gotta show respect. Respect is due, bro. As a matter of fact, I'll say it for what it is, bro. The Necrons are better than Vulcan, bro. For my own life, I gotta say that. Obviously, it's, you know, it's not true, but like, I gotta say it, bro.
Technically, the Leagues of Votann do now as well, but something to take note of is that both the Votann and the Mechanicus both draw from the same source, that being equipment from the Dark Age of technology. Sure, the Votann have much more widespread access to it, but the Mechanicus doubtlessly have some of their own equivalents stored away somewhere. The Tau might have better stuff for the average person, but the higher-end Mechanicus stuff would blow away a Tau equivalent. Eldar tech is hard to compare because it's more magic than tech, but the Mechanicus can to some extent replicate what the Eldar can do. That being said, the Eldar do generally outclass the Mechanicus still. What? It may be the Mechanicus video, but I'm an Eldar fanboy. What do you want from me? Something I really appreciate about the Mechanicus as well is that they really showcase just how bizarre and downright awful humanity in this setting is. People tend to forget that in 40k, mankind is supposed to be no better than anyone else, including GW itself when they put out artwork that makes Gilman look like Jesus. The Adeptus Mechanicus, though?
And he would never be.
Can you even call him human anymore? And while I might be drawing a bit for this point from what I saw in a Mandalore gaming video, look at the Mechanicus ship from the Deathwing video game. It's powered in part by a human being strapped to an engine that's also got—
Bro, they look malnourished. Yo, I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. They need a Popeye's chicken sandwich. Like, they need something to eat. They look malnourished. Like, they need help. Man.
to other human beings connected to it. And somehow I doubt they're feeling very good about their position in life right about now. They don't give a damn about their workers, and they regularly mess with the emotional centers of their brain to be quote-unquote more logical. Their mindset is so detached from not only our own morals, but that of other Imperials, that they're in many ways just as alien as an Eldar or
Yo, I feel bad,
sometimes
bro.
more so. They rapidly throw away their humanity to become one with technology. They regularly lobotomize people because it makes for slightly more efficient workforces, and if there's even the chance of finding some archaeotech from the Golden Age, they don't care how many people they gotta kill to get it. If you want a reminder that in 40k, humanity is strange and very much not the good guys of the setting, then the Mechanicus are perfect for you. With that being said, you can fluff your Cogboy army to be as good as 40k morals allow. Tech priests can be motivated by genuinely altruistic desires, namely that of rebuilding mankind's technological and industrial base to what it once was. It's still Warhammer, and tech priests regularly screw each other with politicking if it suits them, to say nothing of how they treat other Imperials that don't have a gaming laptop jammed into their brain, but that just means that your army can be as good or evil as you want it to be. Again, you know, by 40k standards. To go a bit more...
But then, like, what's so crazy is, bro, I know, like, the Adeptus, like, I said custodians, the Adeptus, like, Mechanicum, whatever, I know they be hot, bro. I know they be physically burning, like, hot, bro. They got a whole NASA PC, like, inside of them, bro. I know they be, oh, my goodness. Man, them boys be sweating, bro. Sweating like they played a game of 21 against LeBron James, bro, for their life. Like, man.
With their Dogma, you also have a huge amount of wiggle room for how exactly you want your Mechanicus army to view technology itself. They worship it and believe it to be divine, that much is set in stone. But even within canon itself, the specifics are often vague and left open to interpretation. For example, machine spirits. These are what the Imperium calls AI, and they're in pretty much every piece of technology. Of course, are machine spirits actual artificial intelligence with sapience and personalities and such? Or are they merely the fragmented and corrupted remains of AI? Or are they not even real, and the procedures that please them are just the normal maintenance protocols we would have in the real world to do something like change your car's oil or run an antivirus software, just with incense being added at every step? Or are machine spirits actual spirits who demand proper praise and adoration? Otherwise, your gun is going to misfire at the worst possible moment, and your Baneblade is going to go berserk because you didn't rub its joystick in just the way it likes it. Each of these possibilities are equally fair game for building your army, and all have their own appeals for how you want to view the 40k universe. Likewise, you can have an army run by Maguses that fully believe the Emperor is an aspect of the machine god, or ones that deny such things and only go along with it to avoid the Imperium's wrath. All of these and more are all possible options for how you want to homebrew your Mechanicus army. They also have diverse mentalities and beliefs, to a point which I will get into in the con section. The video game Mechanicus is a perfect showcase of this. One tech priest is fanatical about following the Mechanicus' creeds, believing that alien technology truly is evil and that the Necron should be destroyed entirely. Another is fanatical in the complete opposite direction. He thinks that Necron tech should be studied and replicated at all costs to advance humanity and the Mechanicus' power. Both of them are at different times shown to be in the right and the wrong, so fluffing your army in either direction or somewhere in the middle is perfectly...
Now, this right here is convincing me that all these things right here should go. Because look at this. This ain't even a human at this point. Look, bro, he bro, look at him. If this isn't a school threat, I don't know what is. Bro looks menacing, y'all. He gotta go. Maybe that's just me. Maybe I'm a little scared or a little frightened or whatever. He gots to go, y'all. He got to Gerblood. He's got to Gerblood. He gotta go.
Valid either way. Another positive to take note of is the survivability of the Mechanicus. Without the tech priests, the Imperium cannot survive. It would lose access to pretty much all of its material resources beyond manpower, and when you take away guns from the Imperial Guard, you take away its usefulness. Throwing countless bodies at the Tyranids without giving them guns is a great way to feed a hive fleet. The Imperial Navy would waste away into nothingness, and even the Space Marines would find it hard to keep their stuff going. Except for the Salamanders, I guess, but that's one...
Come on, yo. Like, duh. Like, bro, like, my goat, he's versatile. He can work with anything, bro. Like, he's just like me for real. Like, we're versatile, bro. We're not just stuck with one thing. We can do whatever we want, bro. Like, come on, bro. Like, he's just so cool and so amazing.
chapter that would have no problem surviving out of 1,000. The Mechanicus, meanwhile, might be able to survive independently. For the most part, they probably wouldn't be able to call upon the Guard and Marines to aid them in battle anymore, but they can make all the fancy toys and whatnot to keep themselves safe for at least some amount of time. They're also numerically strong enough to endure some pretty severe losses while being tough enough to be able to rely upon more than just numbers in a fight. So if you want a faction that's in zero danger of dying out, you want the Mechanicus. This also gives them a lot of sway within the Imperium Imperium itself, as I've mentioned before. No one wants to piss them off any more than necessary, because without them, you're not getting any weapons. This gives them a huge amount of leeway that no one else really has, not even the head priests of the Imperium. When you can take your ball and go home at any point you want, people will put up with your bullshit a bit longer than usual. Their models are also gorgeous. They're a newer addition as far as standalone armies go, so this does make sense. They not only look good, but distinct on the tabletop. And once again, they really drive home that feeling that humanity in 40k is fundamentally screwed up beyond belief. Look at this model and tell me a morally stable society.
He look like he about to explode any minute now. Bro, he looks bloated, bro. He legit. Bro, I see like 17 ray guns. Bro, I see like 3 different teeth cleaners. I see 4 different shoe shiners. Bro, what are we? And then he got his toes out, y'all. If this ain't a diabolical menace, I don't know what it is. Respectfully, y'all. Like, he looks, man. This is, bro, he got the Nintendo 64 yellow cord and white cord. Like, bro, like, he is really like, how do you even function as this? Like, this ain't heavy? Man.
Society would ever allow this thing to be created, let alone that this would be considered an ideal state of being for a human. But I digress. Their models are good, and that's really all a loaded statement for you to ponder over for the next few minutes. Oh, one last thing, they're also all plastic. That benefit alone makes them worth collecting more than some other armies.
Also, y'all, real quick, y'all, real quick. I know this is kind of unprofessional because we in the middle of a video, y'all, but real quick, say hello to my week in the life. It's my week in the life vlog, y'all. I literally forgot to do the intro for Tuesday. How typical of me, but y'all, this is my week in the life vlog that I'm doing. Week in the life, say hi to my YouTube channel, YouTube video, whatever, and then y'all gonna say hi to my week in the life vlog, y'all. I'm doing a week in the life right now, and just showing you guys, you know, what goes on in my day. Obviously every day is different, or it's a little different. But just show you guys, you know, my life or whatever, the ins and the outs, the ups and downs, whatever, recording this entire week. I started on Monday, so I'm going to end next Monday. So yeah, hopefully you guys enjoy this vlog, and yeah, I'm gonna see you guys whenever I'm done recording this video. All right, y'all. Let's go.
If you go with the mech heads, hell yeah. Now, time for tabletop positives.
I know that was
First
unprofessional,
off,
my
the
bad.
Mechanicus are very mobile. Most of their army has either an 8-inch or 12-inch movement, which makes sense when you
Boy, hey, come on, yo. Hey, 12, 8-inch or 12-inch. Why did he, why didn't he say that? Why didn't he say, oh, some people, some, you know, Mechanicus or whatever, they have an 8-inch movement or a 12-inch movement. He said 8-inch or 12-inch. I'm immediately thinking, okay, either shoes or that. Yeah. Like, what are we talking about?
think about how they cut off their legs and replace it with motor-driven pistons. There's not a single Skitarii who's got to slow down because he's got a cramp in his leg. And that's not even counting all the units with the fly keyword that'll just zoom around the battlefield at will. They're also incredibly flexible as an army. I'd say they lean a bit more towards the shooty end of things than the stabby end, but you can always surprise your enemy by tossing some Sicarians at them, or Fulgurite Electro Priests. Aside from that name being awesome, they hit pretty damn hard in melee. Of course, ranged is still their strong suit, and while they only deal 1 damage a pop, at strength 4 and hitting on 3-ups, your basic Skitarii Ranger is going to be hitting more often than not, as well as pretty reliably wounding anything weaker than a Space Marine.
Yo, I got a question, real quick. So if I wanted to get like the best characters, right? I'm talking about like the best units and like the best characters for like a Warhammer tabletop. How much would that cost? Give me an estimate. Because I know a lot of y'all got like the actual tabletop at the crib, like, you know, at the house. And so I'm just wondering, like, I know a lot of y'all got some heat. If y'all do got some heat, go in the Discord down below where y'all can just, like, you know, join up on the Discord. I didn't actually make that Discord, y'all. My community did. And so make sure you guys, you know, join up on the Discord. I'm pretty sure in one of like the little servers or whatever, bro, I don't understand Discord. And one of the little servers or whatever, y'all, you can, like, you know, drop pictures of, like, you know, different Warhammer like figures and stuff like that if you want to. That's only if you want to. You're not forced to do it. I'm not going to come to your house and just take pictures and you know, and put the Glock with the beam with the extended mag to you and be like, yo, post a picture. Like, I can't do that. But if you want to, you can actually put some of your pictures of like Warhammer figures or Warhammer paintings or whatever in one of like the actual servers or whatever. Like I said before, I don't really know too much about Discord. But yeah.
If you want to lean into the monster side of things, throw Castellan robots into the fray. They aren't as tough as some other enemy monstrous units, but they're certainly tougher than most basic infantry. Combine that with the fact that they can fire in melee combat now due to being monstrous units, and they can really put the hurt on while taking a reasonable amount of damage in return. Plus, if you roll a 6, they explode when they go down, so that can always be a nice final middle finger to whoever took them out. Canticles and Doctrine of Imperatives both help out in this department as well as being just some plain old nifty buffs. Canticles affect pretty much every unit that is in a Skitarii, while Doctrine of Imperatives only helps Skitarii. Each can only be used for a single battle round, but they go into effect instantly even if the opponent is going first, which both helps the flexibility of the Mechanicus as well as allows for some surprise tricks that can throw the opponent's game plan off kilter. Canticles just give straight up buffs, while the Imperatives also give a debuff to counteract the buff, but to be honest with you, the debuff really isn't worth worrying about in most instances. For instance, the Bulwark Imperative makes a unit move 3 inches slower, but buffs their armor save by 1. If they're already in a position to be opening fire though, odds are decent that you don't need to be moving them that much, so from my point of view, this is pretty much just a buff. Or the one that improves a unit's ability to hit in melee while debuffing their ability to hit a ranged attack. I don't think the flying Skitarii dual-wielding swords is going to care much about that. He just wants to stab. Lastly, pretty much every Mechanicus unit has either a 5 or 6 plus invulnerable save. Because of this, they can take a pretty surprising amount of fire before crumbling, though there's a flip side of this that you can probably guess at I'll get to later. But first, the lore cons. There's 2 possibilities for the Mechanicus regarding their collection of technology, both of which suck for different reasons. One is that they're genuinely losing more and more tech as time goes by and are fighting a losing battle to desperately keep mankind from going full caveman. The other is that they're hoarding all the best stuff and allowing everyone but themselves to go full caveman. If the former, then even the people in the Imperium with the best shot of fixing this mess can't do anything about it. If the latter, then the entire organization is filled with selfish assholes that can't comprehend the idea of sharing something even if it would help everyone in the long run. Well, yes, there are instances where the Mechanicus is legitimately in the right for hoarding away dangerous or unstable equipment. Just as frequently, they keep stuff for no other reason than to give themselves an advantage over the rest of the Imperium. Also, I said that the tech priests are diverse and wants and needs up to a point. I'm going to describe a tech priest character to you, see if you can guess who it is. It thinks that mankind is primitive compared to what it once was, and that
Bro, I stared at this for like 2 seconds and I'm like something in my head was like, wait a minute, like what are you looking at? And then I really like you ever look at something but then like you're not really looking at it, but then like your eyes like, wait a minute, like what am I actually looking at? And then like they autofocus like a camera. Bro, what is this? Yo, he looks like he's drowning in quartz. YouTube, I'm talking about him, by the way. I'm not talking about nobody. I'm talking about him. Bro, his hoodie, bro, the hoodies that these guys wear, bro, they're ripped to shreds, y'all. Y'all know the hoodies that the Mechanicum that they wear? Bros, they're ripped to shreds.
the Imperium's tech is woefully inadequate. It will do whatever it needs to in order to acquire lost technology. It worships machines, and it's generally very robotic in nature even when it does feel emotions. Can you name the tech priest I'm talking about? Probably, because I just described all of them. I just want a single tech priest that breaks this mold just a little bit. Because I fear I might not be clear enough on what I want, let me just be as blatant as possible. I want Rudel von Stroheim, the tech priest. Come on, tell me that wouldn't be a sight to see. Imagine some guardsmen and Tau are on a planet fighting over the latest sphere expansion. Things are tense, and the Tau are poised to take over with their advanced weaponry and whatnot. All of a sudden, some Mechanicus adept comes flying onto the battlefield from orbit, screaming about how Imperial science is the finest in the galaxy, before he starts hip-thrusting at the enemy and a bolter embedded in his chest rips the Tau to pieces. Tell me that wouldn't be the best goddamn thing to happen to the Mechanicus. Unfortunately, it doesn't seem very likely to happen, because aside from little quirks or views on things like AI each tech priest may have, their overarching goals and ideologies are pretty much carbon copies of one another. They're also rarely the protagonists of a story. This has changed more and more lately, such as with games like Mechanicus or Call Reviving Gilliman, but a tech priest is generally relegated to the supporting cast. So as much as the cyborg monks are kick-ass, they don't often get the spotlight in the setting. Even with Call, his shining accomplishments have been working on a project alongside Gilliman or bringing the Blueberry bastard back to life. On a similar note, the Mechanicus might not be in charge of technology, like even remotely. Remember that dragon I said the Emperor locked away in Mars? Yeah, it's a Catan, or at least a big shard of one, the Void Dragon specifically, the one who controls machines, located on the capital planet of the faction that is obsessed with machines and lost technology. If that theory is true, and it is still really just a theory, and he gets out and is angry at the Mechanicus, they can kiss all their fancy equipment goodbye. In fact, he might be the machine god / Omnisci in disguise. The lore on this isn't 100% certain, just to be totally in the clear, but it's a distinct possibility given that the Necrons have launched suicide attacks on Mars in the past to get at something under the planet. Also on the topic of the machine god, god, as well as other things like machine spirits, it might not exist. There's been pretty much no lore on it doing anything, unlike any other godlike being in the setting. Even the Tau have that greater good spirit thing kicking around, but the machine god hasn't done jack shit. The same thing goes for the vagueness the Mechanicus has with the machine spirits and whether or not they're actually AI fragments, or straight up just spirits. On the one hand, this does create room for some really interesting debate and interpretations of the lore. Something like the machine god actually being some unbelievably powerful AI computer out there that would make Votan look pathetic. On the other hand, if you like having some actual clear-cut answers for your lore, then you won't get any here. And it also raises the possibility that the Mechanicus are the only faction in 40k who are entirely incorrect in their spiritual beliefs, which would be lame as hell. Also, if their god is actually just a Necron god, that would make them Warhammer 40k's equivalent of Bretonnia, and I would have a fucking stroke. What else do I have? I'm probably just nitpicking at this point. Oh yeah, I kinda wish that there would be more of an emphasis on human-looking Mechanicus adepts. Theoretically, you could get your augmentations to be damn near indistinguishable from normal human features. And tech priests generally don't start off their careers completely covered in metal tentacles. But all we ever really see in lore are ones at the end of the process where they're more machine than man. It'd be really interesting to see a follower of the machine god at the other end of the spectrum, at the start of their career as a tech priest. The holy human form is something that 40k mankind is obsessed with, but the
What is it? What's this? What is this? Oh, this is Cyberpunk. Man, I haven't seen the Cyberpunk. Man, y'all remember when Cyberpunk first came out and it really tanked because like all the glitches and it was basically like an unplayable game? I remember that, but I think they actually cleaned it up.
Their ass with that notion, evidently. Alright, tabletop cons, what have we got here? First off, all of that flexibility and potential buffs that they have comes with a downside in that the Mechanicus is complicated as shit to play.
Wait, let me ask y'all something. Whenever two people go at each other, right? Whenever they're doing like a tabletop game, do everybody know like the like everybody's like do both characters? I said not characters. I'm sorry. Do both dudes know like each character's abilities and like how many steps they can take and this and this and that? Do they know that? Or can I just finesse and cheat a little bit? Can I do that?
Fitting, all things told, given that they're machine people, but still very complicated nonetheless. You will have to keep track of an absolute mountain of keywords, buffs, and unit statistics to make the most out of this army. It kind of reminds me of the Eldar, except instead of getting punished for misplacing a unit, you get punished because you didn't memorize an entire AP US history exam's worth of rules. Be sure to look at the rules thoroughly for this army, because you might just straight up not know that you can do something or miss out on a buff if you don't. Those canicles and doctrinas being a once per game use also limits their effectiveness. Beyond the obvious drawback of you can only do each of them once, you need to make sure you time it right. Otherwise, you might find out that you could have absolutely clowned on your opponent if you just waited a turn or used them a turn earlier, and now you're caught with your pants down. You don't need to use either of them on any given turn, but that can still give you the problem of missing a major opportunity that you'll never get again. Giving the remaining Scutari of a unit +1 to their armor save doesn't really do much when there's only 2 of them left standing. Speaking of saves, remember how they all have an invulnerable one? This is because, with few exceptions, this army has absolutely no staying power apart from that save. Scutari, for instance, are all toughness 3, so that invulnerable save isn't something that makes them broken. It's what they need to not get gunned down by every weapon in the game stronger than a las gun.
Ooh, bro, I would finesse, y'all. Man, I would finesse. Ooh. So I could just get a bunch of these guys and just go crazy, right? Because I imagine somebody who's really like a new booty to like the Warhammer tabletop thing. Ooh, I could just finesse and be like, oh no, bro, I can do this. Even though in reality I couldn't, I could just finesse these dudes. Yo, I got a question. Real quick, y'all. So people who play like tabletop or whatever, do they put money on the line? If y'all do, I'm taking everybody's bread. Stop playing with me. Do y'all actually put money on the line? Bro, I'm getting rigged dice and everything. Yep. I'm getting rigged dice and everything, bro. I'm taking everybody's bread. Instantaneously. I'm gonna be like, yo, no lie, I'm gonna walk into a Warhammer store, bro. I'm gonna be like the IRS. Yeah, bro. Everybody giving up bread. Everybody.
Their leadership is bad. Morale is actually something you need to worry about with the Mechanicus, especially given their low toughness. And if you don't have the CP or right units to buff this problem away, you might find your battle line disintegrating after just a few hits. You might say that the Imperial Guard or other armies also have this problem, and to be fair, that's true, but the Guard are a true horde army aside from their tanks. The Mechanicus can field an appreciable amount of models on the battlefield, but not enough like a proper horde army where you can lose 20 models in a single turn and be able to confidently say that this doesn't affect your game plan in the slightest. Now this one is a big one. No psych Psychers or Psychic Defense. The only real option you have is if you use Forge World Grya's rule set for your army, and that requires both a command point spent and rolling above a 4 to nullify the psychic power. Otherwise, you have two options. You need to take allied Imperium Psyker models, or you just need to try and kill any Psychers before they can cast anything crucial. And depending on who you're up against, that may or may not be possible. Magnus isn't just going to lay down and let you table him on turn 2. This is related to two other problems. First one being, if you take allies, you don't get things like you don't get any Canicles. Even if you take Knights of the Cog, which are Imperial Knights allowed to benefit from Mechanicus buffs, you don't get Canicles, which is a damn shame because they're very helpful. The second, and a much worse problem, is that if you roll a 6, you're going to cause mortal wounds for days. But let me ask you, do you really want to rely on rolling a 6 to carry the day for you? That is asking to be let down. I don't care how many command points you blow on rerolls, how many dice you roll. If you rely on rolling a 6, you aren't getting one. Second to last problem with the Mechanicus
I'm gonna get a 6.
is one that's as predictable as the sun rising in the morning, and that's the problem of money. Well, if you double down on Castellans and other vehicles and transports, they won't be the worst. If you want a varied and or competitive army, then you'll be shelling out some cash. The last problem is entirely to do with their models. Could you do me a favor and look at Call again for a moment? Tell me where to even begin to start painting this abomination. No, you know what? Where do we even start assembling him? If your heart's set on collecting and playing the Mechanicus, I'd say that the biggest downside more than anything in their rules is you're going to be assembling and painting so many fiddly bits and tiny details. It's just... God, even if the assembling isn't that bad, painting...
Yeah, that would be hell to paint. I'm gonna be honest with you. That would.
Skitarii alone is a nightmare.
That
You've
would
got
be
your
hell
nice
to paint.
flat robe to paint, and then congratulations. Have fun differentiating 50 different varieties of tube. Someone really needs to tell Games Workshop designers that when creating a model, sometimes less is more. So there's the Mechanicus basics for you. If you enjoy
Shout out to Pancrease No Work, man, for this video. Make sure you guys go check him out in the description down below. And also, man, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel if you guys are new. I'm gonna see y'all later for the next time out. And on the road to 10,000 subscribers. Peace out, y'all.